I sounded really depressed when I was listening to that back, and I have been having a really hard time lately. I'm not gonna get into it, but I want to try to be a little more cheery. I just don't want to be fake cheery all the time because I hate it when, it's like I'm making a YouTube video, I have to fake being happy or cheery or whatever. I'm a writer, I draw, and we make videos sometimes. We're everywhere on the channel and everywhere in the books I write. In the drawings I make, I hint to a lot of things and I use creative expression. We do, to let ourselves be known, but just hinting to things isn't really benefiting us. So after some discussion, and after going back and forth for a while and flubbing things when we've tried before, we wanted to introduce you to us properly. We already have in a way if you've seen any videos here. There's me, Shane as I'm here now, and if you're a friend, family member, or curious onlooker on the internet, you might have seen more of us pop up repeatedly. The same names, the same faces. You might have seen repeated attempts to say all of this just right but ultimately failing. And it's all due to the fact that I am just self-conscious as hell about it. To set it in stone and say, hey, this isn't fake, this is real and I'm tired of not letting it happen makes me wish I could do it in the right way if there is one. So, let me at least start with a definition of what it means to be plural, taken from the Power to the Plural's website, which is a website with a wealth of knowledge and help for plural people. The Plural Association, TPA, nonprofit, defines plurals in its legal documents as everyone who self-identifies as being or having more than one individual within a single body. This can vary from person to person, but that's basically the gist. As it stands for us, sometimes my body acts as the form of expression for more than just me. Byleth, Liston, and Darrow, among others who don't come around as often, may speak through me to others. I'll get more into it later. And this is something some people live with every day. But society has a history of not believing us, fearing us, and painting us as dangerous people in horror movies and, more recently, as villains. More often than not, the response is less than stellar. Some have lost jobs and lost their children after coming out as being plural or having dissociative identity disorder, which is a diagnosis some receive, as is the case with a story or two I've read online while looking for a community. I've been lucky in the sense that we've been accepted and validated by my counselor, psychiatrist, and a few close friends. It's common to not be believed. It's also common to feel like you have to keep it inside or have one foot in a singlet world, singlet meaning people who are not plural, and the other in check with your head family, which is our term. In other words, we only truly come out for very select few, and even then, it's nerve-wracking. I'm going to let Liston explain how this came about and when it started. Later, Byleth will explain how it all works. But first, I want to make a note. People in the plural community all identify differently. They use different terms, they use different words. We don't adopt a lot of the words that the current community uses, but there's many different ways to be plural. Some have diagnoses, some do not. Some self-diagnose because it's very hard to get acceptance and there's not a whole lot of understanding around being plural. So just with that in mind, this is our experience and this is our story and we can only speak for ourselves.
So Shane's mentioned before that where he's come from and what life's been like. He's talked about us a lot too, but not in the way he needed to. I won't go back over the things he's already said, but basically, I met him when he was about 12 or 13. It was kinda cute, actually. He was just a kid sitting outside and doodling, and the first picture he drew me was, yeah. It was telling of the times. I can't remember exactly when we started talking like we do now, but I don't think Shane realized what was going on at the time. He still had yet to experience some pretty bad years of his life. But I remember it started in a document. Like, literally a document on a computer. He already wrote stories and things like that, so it came naturally to just talk like that. And others came to him in dreams. One was Kel and the other was Tetsu. To be honest, I haven't seen either of them at length in a while, except for when Cal came around a week ago. I think time's fucked up right now. Time is always fucked up for me. Anyway, I feel awkward taking Shane's place and explaining why this probably came about, but I want to at least make something clear. I'm not Shane. Byleth is not Shane. And Darrow is not Shane. And we are who we are. And although we help Shane by guarding certain things, like bad memories and things like that, we do so because we came to him for a reason. For one, he's my soulmate, and it just seems like something that was destined to happen either way. Darrow likes to talk about things happening because they're meant to. I think this was meant to happen. I love the dark. I'm glad I can at least protect him from the harmful things stored upstairs. I have PTSD too, but I'm shit at stopping things before they happen for him. Byleth will get into all that stuff, but basically I came to Shane because he needed me and I needed him. He got me to calm the fuck down anyway. I wasn't, always the best person. I'll just say that. I can't really explain much else. It's just the way we've been, and when Shane finally got familiar to talking with us as we do now, and he realized who we were and we wanted to work with him, he was scared at first. I feel bad because it was during a time when I wasn't so great. But things got better as we figured it out, and we got a pretty good thing going on. I don't really know what else to say, but I can pass it on to Mr. Big Ego here. He's better with writing words than me. The way it works isn't exactly simple, but it doesn't have to be so difficult like he makes it. I think the issue is that he gets scared when it happens, although we've been working with him to realize it's not going to hurt anything. None of us are going to take his place as the main driver, as he likes to put it. I can't speak for Lestan, but what I can say is how it went the last time we switched to use his words again. It was for a while, and we were interacting with someone. It was when we realized that taking over for too long resulted in gaps in Shane's memory. Basically, stuff I could remember but he couldn't. Thankfully, we record most things, which means he gets to remember all of the spicy details. The fun stuff. So, we only do things at shorter intervals, like chatting with friends here and there, but there are very few of his friends I trust to do that with. I've been trying to convince him to allow us in the driver's seat a little more often than he usually does. This is part of that. In the times he's been self-destructive, and when I get, quite frankly, pissed off at him because he doesn't listen to us, it's when we need to jump in. We can only do so much just having half-assed control. It's been enough to save his ass from doing stupid shit, but it's not enough. So he needs you to understand that he's scared. He wants to let us in, or out, whatever, to participate in life the way we want to. We're his hidden away, dirty little secret he reveals in creative shit, but we're actual fucking beings who want to help him. In order to do that, hi, hello, that's the point of this.
Hopefully that helped. We're used to switching around to do voice work, which I then use Audacity to lower the pitch slightly, just to help them sound more like they do in our headspace. So the creative projects where they do their own voice, they do their own voices. The reason I'm doing all this is because I'm tired of just forcing as normal as I can be. I have several mental health diagnoses, but I often try to mask that when I'm talking to someone face to face. The biggest fear I have is allowing Byleth and Lestan or Darrow or any of the others pop in at random when they have something to say. And they've had a lot to say lately, but I tell them they can't because no one will believe us or take us seriously, or I might lose support. Which is what I'm afraid of. Everything else in my life is no secret. I'm an open book and I write about a lot of things. My recent work in progress explores our existence and how we help each other, but if it ever gets out into the world, it'll read like a fantasy. And there are some fantasy bits in there to make it fun to read. But at its core, it's based on truth. I'm going to end this with, no, they aren't harmful. They're my closest allies, family, and a few of us are romantic. And at the end of the day, whether people believe it or not, or give us grief, or brush us off, or whatever, it doesn't change our reality. That we exist like this, we operate like this, and that's just how it is. And we want more than anything to just be ourselves, to just live life as we need to. Because the fear I've had to switch with my head fam, even when I need to, has been detrimental to my mental health. So we're going to get used to switching more, and I'm going to try to not be so self-conscious and afraid of what others think. Thank you for listening if you have. We have stuff planned where some of us will pop in to do some readings where I normally would do it all myself. I want to start reading my horror stories that were derived from my nightmares, and Byleth and Liston at least want to read some of them as well. Darrow too if he feels up to it. My cats are starting to misbehave and make a lot of noise, so sorry about the background. I'm gonna end this now. Please stay safe out there, and remember, don't be afraid to be yourself. Baby. Okay, so I wanted to record a really quick afterword because, I sounded really depressed when I was listening to that back, and, I have been having a really hard time lately. I'm not gonna get into it, but, I want to try to be a little more cheery. I just don't want to be fake cheery all the time, because I hate it when, you know, it's like I'm making a YouTube video, I have to fake being happy or cheery or whatever. The truth is I get really nervous anytime I come out about this, and I know I've talked about it a lot, but, and, you know, people will be like, you've come out before, this isn't new, or whatever, but, I just feel like I never can say it in the right way, so I keep trying to redo it, say it in the right way. So, yeah, I'm sorry, sorry about sounding so, like, bleh. I have been very bleh. I need to learn how to be cheery again, if that makes sense. Which, in that case, one of my alters, Cal, I'm kind of hoping they will come back and maybe they could take control for a few things because they are a lot cheerier than me, and they might make things sound a little, cheerier. So yeah, hopefully it's coming in the future. Definitely gonna end the video now. Thank you for listening if you did again. And yeah, that's it.